It's been a very busy week in PC hardware and gaming news. We are finally seeing the beefy versions of third-party 7900 XTX and XT GPUs from AMD. We've got an insane and over-the-top 49 from Galax. Unreal 5.1 has a new demo level. Oh, and a few small announcements from a little award show called the Game Awards. Now we've got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it right here on Robeytech. So a while back, we had talked about the upcoming 7900 GPU lineup from AMD and how their partner cards would release after their take on the reference cards. And to be clear, I don't know if you saw that on the video, I showed this off between the Sapphire one and the just regular reference, but the reference cards look exactly the same. So what everybody's excited about are these cards. Now, we've got to look at a ton of awesome partner cards with the restraints now loosened with launch behind us, and the ankle weights have essentially been cast aside, and we're gonna look at just a handful of them. First up, we've got the PowerColor Red Devil, which looks freaking sick, and we've actually asked about this one. It's got a black and red aesthetic with translucent shrouds and covers, and it has a removable backplate. The thing looks mean, and it looks like it means business. And when I say business, that means gaming. It has a new heat design with 8 nickel-plated copper heat pipes and runs 3, I don't know why I'm holding up 6, 3 8-pin power connectors. That's 24 pins for all of my math wizards out there. Now, by the time you've watched this video, obviously GPUs have released after the 13th, but as of the time of writing this, we didn't really have any pricing for some of these, but you know what? Actually, it may be out now and you can go enjoy it, but check it out. One company that did release some specs for their card is actually Gigabyte. Now, in stark contrast to the Red Devil, the Gigabyte Aorus Elite, which is always a super fatty card, is actually going for like more of a sleek and clean design with like those light rings on the 3 fans of their signature wind force cooling system. This is all about keeping the GPU from overheating and giving you more room for those sweet overclocks. Compared to the reference card, the Aorus Elite has a game clock of 2500 megahertz and a boost clock of 2680 megahertz. So not a massive leap above the reference card, but still no slouch when it comes to performance. And since it seems we can't go more than a few cycles without a new anime-themed GPU coming out, the last 7900 GPU that we're going to talk about today is the YESTON SAKURA. Because you know what? Why not? For the anime-inclined PC building enthusiast, the YESTON SAKURA lineup is the one that no one forgets once they've actually heard about it. Yes, this is actually the same GPU that came perfume-scented out of the box a few generations back. We do get some official renders of the GPU, and look, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of adorable and cute. It's got a similar pink, teal, blue, purple aesthetic with everything you've come to expect from like anime-themed parts. I mean, sure, it's nowhere near as sick as like that Evangelion 3090, but you know what? It does. Yeah, I still think you like it, and there's definitely a place for it, especially among like the Genshin Impact crowd. It's got that cute look to it. Now, I'm not saying we need to build an anime-themed PC and get one of these, but I'm not saying we need to build an anime-themed PC with this. I don't know. Love to know down in the comments below what you think. And by the way, if you're enjoying this news type content and you want to see more of this, make sure you like and subscribe. It's always very, very much appreciated. While everyone was super sad to hear that EVGA was dropping out of the GPU game, it looks like EVGA was in the process of making some prototypes of the 4090. And if you want to go see those, you can check out Steve's video or Jay's video where they actually did a deep dive, overclocked them, played with the software, all that sort of stuff. Since a handful of them made to some YouTubers, thing that was really interesting is that one of them managed to find its way on eBay. Now hold on, this isn't some like disgruntled EVGA employee or somebody jumping into Mini Cooper and breaking into EVGA headquarters like the Italian Job. This was actually EVGA themselves setting to put this up on eBay to raise funds for St. Jude's charity. Now it looks like the card before they ended up pulling it off eBay was well over $14,000, and I think this is super rad of EVGA to do. Now according to the listing, it was a functioning card, but since it was pre-production and they never planned to release it, it's basically sold as is. Now, the thing is it was since pulled off eBay just because of shenanigans with eBay, and now has been put up on EVGA's forums. At the time that we last heard about it, it was over $9,000, but I think this is super rad of EVGA to do, and you can go check it out on their forums. We'll have a link down in the description below on how to get and check that out. If you have been around PC building for a while, Galax is a name you've probably heard of, but since it's a brand based in Europe, it's not one of the more popular ones here in the United States, since you can't really get your hands on them very easily. Galax is known for being one of the few manufacturers to start building completely white GPUs, and most importantly, insanely powerful GPUs. In fact, one of them is called their HOF, or their Hall of Fame, literally. Now, they gun for the top spot in terms of having the highest out-of-the-box boost performance with their performance modes and all of their shenanigans. Though it's not quite the most powerful, just like out of the box, it pushes clock speeds of like 2625 megahertz, falling just short of the top spot behind the Asus ROG Strix overclock or the MSI Supreme Liquid that both run at 2640 megahertz. But when you turn on the performance mode, it does have an edge over the competitions since it sets the power limit of the GPU to 660 watts. That is so metal. For your GPU overclockers out there, this is the card you want if you can get your hands on it. Now, aside from the power, aesthetically, it's bonkers. As per usual with Galax's GPUs, the giant RGB crown on top protrudes from the side, and it has a built-in screen, and it's just dripping with ostentatious vibes. I love it. Oh, and by the way, it has two 16-pin connectors. So yeah, that's 24 pins for that 7900 XTX. It can kind of suck it with like a whole 8 pins less of power. Yes, I get it, they're different connections, but come on, it still makes a funny joke. Now, one of the biggest issues and drawbacks of the Steam Deck is storage capacity and speed. I mean, if you have one, you're kind of knowing depending on what games you've got, but you know, the best way to do it is to essentially use an SD card. By the way, we have an incredible video on choosing an SD card for your Steam Deck and how much it really doesn't matter, and you can spend as little as you want, but we got a whole coverage of it, and you should watch that video right here. There have been docks that add SSD connections, and we've covered some of those in our news stories, but due to the Steam Deck size and the use of the 2230 SSD, which is basically smaller than most of your NVMe SSDs you put in your PC, swapping the internal drive has not been plausible without running the very real risk of bricking your very precious Steam Deck in the process, because still they're behind on shipping, and you know what, the last thing you want to do is lose your Steam Deck, especially during the holiday season. Now, Valve warns that swapping the drive with an off-the-shelf component could mess with the power consumption, overheating, reduced battery life, and even electromagnetic and mechanical interference. I mean, it's basically like those drug commercials where it may cause blindness, loss of bowel control, and death. Now, another thing they claim is that the random drives could have different emission patterns and even vibrations that could mess up the connectivity and even stop components from working outright. Now, here's the deal, guys. Steam's all about the right to repair, and if these guys are actually warning you, this is something you can take seriously. Someone is definitely going to test this out in their Steam Deck because of course they are. The Sabrent Rocket is a Gen 4 PCIe SSD with the correct form factor and has claimed 4750 megabits per second read and 4300 megabits per second write. That is a big improvement over the stock SSD, and depending on how it affects performance, it may be potentially a worthwhile upgrade for Steam Deck users that don't want to be tethered to a dock. Now, right now, we don't know anything about pricing, but you for sure, don't worry, we've got enough Steam Decks, we will for sure test it, and we're really hoping that Valve will do like an official statement once it's out to let you know yay or nay. Now, as we reported back in November, Unreal 5.1's release was a giant step forward for game development with its Nanite and Lumen features. And typically, updates to Unreal eventually come with a demo level for game devs to dive in, rip apart, and see how the whole thing works. It's a great way for people to see it. Oh, and you know what? It's also a great way for gamers to download and run around and just look at how just stunning it looks. And by the way, stunning is an understatement. The Redwood Forest biome has a winter and a spring-summer version, and they look amazing. If you want, and it's free. You can you can go download it and check it out yourself. I mean, it's what made Fortnite go from an aged game visually to a powerhouse of a graphics demo overnight. Yes, it took the Fortnite devs a while, and yes, most esport players and players are not going to run with it because it's really trash for your overall graphical performance, and you're probably going to run low visual settings if you're really serious about it. But for those of us like me who are casual guys, guess what? Fortnite looks dang good, and you got to have a pretty beefy GPU to run it. Now, the detail on everything from right in front of you to the furthest tree in this demo you can see in the distance is immaculate, and the lighting from Lumen just makes everything look that much better. Now, like I said, it's free to download and use, and a ton of game devs, both new to making games and veterans in the industry, will get their hands on this, and I cannot wait to see what people will do with this. And it's awesome to see Fortnite already using it because that means that they've already gone through a cycle and figured out all the bugs, and so I'm excited to see. We'll see. Now, to wrap things up, we're going to do a quick rapid-fire segment of news and announcements that came out of the Game Awards. What we're going to start with is the mention that Final Fantasy XVI finally got a release date of June 22nd, 2023 on the PlayStation 5. But eagle-eyed viewers will spot that at the end of the trailer, it says that it's not available on other platforms until December 31st, 2023. But it means that more than likely we'll see those happening in 2024. I mean, again, how long do we have to wait for other Final Fantasy titles? But hey, You know, PlayStation, they're all about those exclusives. Now, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon got a trailer, and while we don't know much, it's freaking mech, so of course I'm excited. I mean, plus, From Software, mechs, it's awesome. It has been over a decade since the last Armored Core game. It has a fully CG trailer, so we don't really know anything resembling what final gameplay, etc. will look like, but we do know that it's coming. And but longtime fans of the series are hyped to finally get another entry into the franchise sometime in 2023. Plus, From Software gameplay plus mechs, I cannot wait. Diablo 4 finally got a release date and cinematic trailer, which was impeccable, and we can't wait for a good Diablo release since the everyone has a phone days of Diablo Immortal. Diablo release on an appropriate July 6th next year, and there's like a whole 666, it's very convoluted. If you want to go, there's some stuff on Twitter about it. Anyway, another gameplay trailer reveal that came out of like nowhere was the Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. And it looks like everything you could hope and dream from for a Warhammer Space Marine game. Hordes of enemies to mow down with an arsenal of weapons that look like they'll be an absolute literal blast to play with. And on top of that, another Warhammer news, just surprise. Henry Cavill, who has since been fired from Superman, he wasn't Spider-Man, and also is not playing The Witcher, just announced that they're going to be doing a Warhammer project with Amazon. So yes, it has nothing to do with tech, but dude, more Warhammer, so Warhammer fans unite. Let me know down in the comments below if you're stoked about that, and you can go check that out on Henry Cavill's Instagram. And by the way, we couldn't talk about reveals without mentioning one of my absolute favorite and most biggest, I'm super looking forward to this, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's follow-up to an absolutely amazing game and one of my favorite games of all time, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The trailer sets the story for the protagonists, and it shows off some freaking sweet new abilities and lightsaber mods, including, and this is the coolest thing, like a Kylo Ren-esque crossguard with like blue. So I'm pretty sure it's like the Robeytech lightsaber. Okay, maybe not, but man can dream. And you know, guys, hey, right here, if you want, I'm down to work with you guys. Now, on top of all that, we also have a release date of March 17th, so we're definitely gonna play this, and you bet your buns that we're gonna make an epic Star Wars mod and PC build just for this game, just like we did the Mass Effect one. That's not here right now. This is the Falcon Northwest one, but if it was there, it'd be right here. Well, that's it for news this week. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Which of the RX 7900s that we showed you was actually your favorite? Now, would you swap your SSD in your Steam Deck with your Sabrent rocket? I mean, is that something you'd be willing to risk? Don't worry, we will. Which trailer announcement was your favorite, and what games you're looking forward to in 2023? Let us know all that down in the comments below. Now, while you're down there, you know what? Go ahead and tap that like and subscribe button right there, and you know what? Turn on notifications so you don't miss another video like this. I mean, these news things are awesome. Be sure to check out our live streams over at youtube.com/RobeyTech Live, our big brother channel, or over at twitch.tv/RobeyTech, where we stream every Saturday, every Tuesday, and every Thursday starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We've got a really epic Deadpool build coming up. We've also got really epic PC console build coming up, so you have some incredible stuff to come and look forward to and all that sort of stuff. And also, before you go, why not head over to all your favorite social media platforms? We've got super awesome TikTok content like this, or what about these rad Instagram stories we've been doing, like when we built a PC on the back of a Ford Lightning? Oh, and also head over to our Discord server, discord.gg/Robeytech. Awesome place to make friends, tens of thousands of people who love PC building just like you do. And we're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Discord, all at Robeytech, absolutely everywhere. So make sure you follow us on any one of those for some sweet gaming and PC goodness. Anyway, guys, that is it for us. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.